Greetings, this is Roger Blakiston, and it's the month of November 2020, and I have 3 poems that I've written in the last few weeks that I would like to read to you. The first one is called The Mystery of the Poet. He sat all alone in the dim candle light, writing his poems well into the night. The bats hovered round on the turrets so tall, whilst the raven lay still on the stone castle wall. The ghosts of the ages were frozen in time as they watched him, immersed in his verse and his rhyme. The chimes in the belfry would sound every hour as the figurines spun round the clock in the tower. His works were admired by so many good folk, and some legends surrounded this man in a cloak. His hair to his shoulders, and beard that was long, was always aloof, not in tune with the throng. Some say he had gifts that were not of this world, as the wind on his hilltop round battlements swirled. His fortress had seen many violent wars through the years, so many being lost to the arrows and spears. In centuries gone by, this was home to a queen, but today in this room was a much different scene. No servants or banquets, no crown and no jewels, just a pen and a parchment where poetry rules. Some thought that his words were not truly his own, as though he was channeled when entering the zone. They claimed that the spirits were aiding his flow. It was 3:33. It had started to snow. He looked out the window, excited, inspired. Though it was getting late, he was not feeling tired. Another new poem was waiting to write before he was ready to blow out the light. So many years later, this poem was found when some workers were digging deep under the ground. The poet had vanished, no corpse and no bones, just a memory lost in the grey castle stones. Lady of Light. She lived on a hilltop above the wide ocean, a lady of beauty alone in a cave. She was the light sent to wake up humanity. All who surrendered she knew she could save. Remembering lifetimes before this adventure, she once was a mermaid and later a queen. She understood every mystery and secret, beginnings and endings, and all in between. She had a power that the mother had gifted, alone on the rocks and surrounded by sea. She knew the sailors, the gulls, and the fishes would talk to the wind as it howled through the tree. She was protector of all in the waters, with love and compassion her energy field. She had a mission to change our dying planet, so all those who suffered at last would be healed. The moment arrived for this greatest of miracles. Standing on heather and under full moon, calling to spirits from far distant galaxies, she took to flight across the sand and the dune. Spreading her wings, she was gliding o'er mountains, over the forests, down canyons so deep, sprinkling her stardust on those in her pathway, humans and animals waking from sleep. Flying over countries and islands and townships, as smiles were returning to souls that were lost. Those springs, new creations, through heat of the summer, then autumn and winter, the snow and the frost. Circling the arc of a mystical rainbow, collecting the colours to spread round the globe, she worked the magic by changing normality, treasures from sorcerers under her robe. When she returned to her cave on the hilltop, she sat on a stone whilst awaiting her fate, knowing she altered a world filled with sorrow, transforming it into a different state. She closed her tired eyes, felt a tap on her shoulder. The master was ready to take her back home. She gazed one last time at her friends in the seaweed, while waving farewell to the brine and the foam. Her place guaranteed in the heavenly kingdom, her presence in history forever assured, disease and emotions of hatred all lifted, this speck in the universe finally cured. And the third poem I shall read for you is simply called Bill. I observed the old man sitting down beside a tree, a kindly face, so full of grace, a book upon his knee. I paused and then approached him, and I asked him for his name. I saw his eyes, he looked so wise. I noticed he was lame. He said his name was William, but that I could call him Bill. In far-off days he wrote some plays on parchment with a quill. Being curious, I pointed to the book he grasped so tight, the cover worn, some pages torn, and then my face turned white. This tome he held was not in print. The words written by hand. Was I now seeing a cosmic being returned unto this land? The man demanded if I wished to be or not to be, and straightway I knew the play, for Hamlet I could see. The word was etched upon the spine. I fell upon my knees. I was in awe at what I saw, then felt a gentle breeze. The trees were swaying as wind picked up. I heard a noise so loud, I turned around, and on the ground had formed a massive crowd. I saw King Richard, Bolingbroke, and Julius Caesar too. Two people fought, as power they sought, the taming of the shrew. "Lead on, Macduff!" I heard one shout, as bagpipes played their tune. Amazing sight this precious night beneath the crescent moon. King Lear did howl, Othello too, grave deeds they had performed, whilst Romeo put on a show, and to his lover warmed. "Once more unto the breach, dear friends!" I heard King Harry cry. A victory sought at Agincourt, he knew many would die. The drums were sounding in the air, the old man on his feet. This motley crowd stood still and bowed, then danced on to the beats. I woke up under starlit skies. The universe did gleam. Within this space had taken place a Midsummer Night's Dream.